obviously we're going to be talking about odds. We've been talking about empirical and theoretical probability. So we're going to talk about odds. And I'll explain all this to you. Unless you write it down first, though. Do you have a question?
Can I move this desk over there?
Yes, I'm sorry. I took where you usually go to sit.
That's fine.
Yeah, or you can, however you want to do it. I don't care.
I'm getting glasses next Tuesday, though, so.
I bet you're excited. I really thought it was the angle. I never thought it was because you could.
I'm just really blind.
Oh, you just, well, I get that. Notice I'm wearing glasses too. Okay, so odds and probability are related, but they're not the same thing. So a lot of people use them interchangeably, but they're really not the same. You know, like when somebody says, what are the odds of that happening? They probably are really in their head thinking, what's the probability that it would occur? Odds are used a lot like when you're talking about gambling. Like I always think about horse races. Like you're usually given odds of whether somebody, you know, this particular horse will win or not. Or like, I don't know why this comes to mind, but like in Vegas when they have those big boxing matches, they will usually give you odds. And 9 times out of 10, the odds are against an event happening. So when it just says odds, that's odds against something happening. And that's the number of failures to the number of successes. So that ... that colon, that you just read that as the word two. Like if I tell you the odds are 5 to 1, that means that you're 5 times as likely to lose as you are to win. Because odds are normally against. So when that big number is first, that's usually really bad. Odds for an event is when it's flip-flopped. And those, it says, it will tell you if they're odds in favor. Otherwise, you automatically assume that they're odds against. So, like, odds in favor of this particular horse winning is 3-2. So she's 3 times as likely to win, well, and twice as likely to lose. So those are odds. So for this problem, find the odds against rolling a 4 on one roll of a die. Whether it's odds in favor or odds against, whatever it talks about right after it, whether it's against or in favor. So in this case, the rolling of 4. Those are considered the successes. That's what we're looking for. So the odds against rolling a 4. Well, when you roll one die, how many 4s are on a die? 1. So we have 1 success. Because there's 1 4. And now, the failures then would be considered not rolling a 4. So how many opportunities on one die do you have that are not a 4? 5, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So there's 5 of them. So odds against, up here says our number of failures to number of successes. So the failures are 5, successes are 1. So we write it like that. And you read it 5, 2, 1. So the odds against rolling a 4 are 5 to 1. It means you're 5 times as likely not to roll a 4. Kind of makes sense? A lot of people talk about odds but don't really know what they mean. And that's just because probably they were never explained to you. Honestly, I didn't know until I was much, much older. All right, there's a lot of scribbling on this one. I apologize. I had a hard time finding the blank one. You can just jot down what you need out of this, or you can jot it all down. But just to read it to you, because it's kind of hard to read. In 2002, about 5 of every 23 tax returns are filed electronically. That's in 2002. I would say by now, almost all of them are filed electronically. There's a few, people probably like my dad that just won't do it that way, But most people will probably do electronically. Or if you didn't have an account, then you probably can do it that way, like a bank account. If one tax return was filed, is selected at random where the odds against that tax return being filed electronically. So things you need for this, you need to know that there were 5 that were filed electronically, 23, 5 of every 23 tax returns total, and we're finding odds against that it's filed electronically. And again, I don't have to say odds against. If I just said odds, then we assume it's against, because that's mostly what they are. All right, so odds against, whatever comes after the word favor or against or odds, that's the successes. So the tax return filed electronically, that's successes. So then failures are tax returns not filed electronically. That would be like paper, when you actually mail it in. Have y'all filed tax returns, or does your parents do that? Maybe part of your parents still probably.
No, your parents have people that do it for them.
I'm a math teacher, and I have people that do it for me. I mean, not that it's really not that complicated, to be honest with you. Now, it depends on, if you own your own business, that kind of stuff gets way more complicated. But I do it for peace of mind, just so that way it's not me that messed up, it's them. And if I get audited, they're audited with me. It just makes me feel a little bit better. That's all. So anyways. But yeah, you may end up doing your own tax returns, or you may file it. And if you file your own tax returns, especially if it's just a regular old W-4, it's pretty simple. You can do it without issue. But again, you can let somebody else do it. It just costs a little bit. All right. So we are doing odds against. So odds against are failures to successes. Number of failures. So that's how many tax returns are not filed electronically. A lot of people would say 23. Why is it not 23?
So it's all the tax returns?
That's right. It says 5 out of every 23 tax returns. So 23 is the total tax returns. So to figure out how many failures there are, you just take 23 minus 5. See, my head's not, is that right? Yeah. Okay. So that's 18 failures. Failures. 18. To successes. Now, how many were filed electronically? 5. So it's 18 to 5. Now, this is treated, it's a ratio. It's treated just like a fraction. If that could reduce, like say that was 15 to 5, then you would reduce it. You would divide both of them by 5 and make it 3 to 1. You wouldn't just leave it as 3 because you need two numbers.